don't need to be great right now anyway. Let's be great in 3 years. Let's not worry about it right now. What's up, guys? We are looking at the 2024 Tennessee Titans draft class after one season. How are these rookies looking after 1 year in the NFL? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Look at the entire draft class as a whole. And really, I love what the Titans did. I love what they did with the first two picks, especially grabbing offensive line and defensive line. Really, in any kind of rebuild, you have to solidify the trenches first. I think that is the first step in any rebuild. So if you hit on those picks, everything else just gets so much easier, right? And not to say this is a rebuild, right? The Titans are in a rebuild, we agree. No solidified quarterback, not a ton of big names on either side of the ball. Yeah, it's a rebuild, right? Like, I think that's where we're at. I hate that they fired Vrabels. I hate that Brian Callahan is there. I don't have anything against Brian Callahan, but I'm on record saying that's the worst decision the Titans will make in this decade. But I digress. Let's get right into it. Let's look at their first pick, J.C. Latham out of Alabama. And look, he's still kind of finding his footing, right? He is not a complete player by any means, but his pass blocking is really, really good for a rookie, and really the opposite can be said about his run blocking. Now, I did a rookie watch video on him early on in the season, and it was kind of excited to see, like, okay, is that kind of the same trend? Because I was definitely trending that way at that point, and that was a lot of what my video was about. And yeah, we're kind of still in that same boat. I'm going to show you a couple graphs here just to kind of give you a visual representation. First thing we'll show you is just where he's at among all the rookies, which obviously isn't good as the 7th pick in the draft, but it's not something I'm super worried about. I think, again, PFF grades are a little finicky, but when we rank those exact same players just based on pass blocking grades, J.C. Latham jumps up to the second best tackle in the class, right behind Joe Alt, which is where he should be, considering that's how the draft went as well, right? His pass blocking grade has been so much better than his run blocking grade, because when we compare it to run blocking, we'll see him again near the bottom of the pack as a run blocker. J.C. Latham is not a complete prospect. And look, to be 100% fair, the Titans drafted him knowing this. The fact that he was drafted where he was potential. He has elite physical traits that showed the NFL and showed the world that, yeah, he had the potential to be one of the top tackles in the NFL for the next 10 years. That wasn't going to happen in year one. That was never going to happen in year one. So, again, we're pretty comfortable with where he's at right now, or at least I am. I think Titans fans should be as well. This is a win. This is a good pick. We're exactly where we want to be. Moving on to their next pick, they went to the other side of the ball and grabbed a defensive tackle in T'Vondre Sweat. And, man, I am a big fan of this dude as well. Look, this is a great pick. This is the best rookie defensive tackle according to PFF. And look, I tend to think that Murphy is probably better. Murphy had kind of a slower start, but you see him with the Seattle down the stretch. He's really changed that entire defense, really. And add on to the fact, just to give all the information, there aren't a lot of other rookies that are playing next to Jeffrey Simmons. So that is a huge plus. Jeffrey Simmons is obviously getting the double teams. He's getting more respect. So T'Vondre Sweat is in a really, really good position to dominate, I would say, or at least be really, really impactful, and he has been. He's done exactly what you would want to see from a guy with a ton of potential, ton of talent. You're going to have both of these guys, Simmons and Sweat, anchoring the middle of that defensive line for at least the next 4 years, and that has to be really, really exciting if you're a Titans fan. And not to mention, he has a mean stiff arm. And as we go down the day 3 picks, I'm not going to talk about every guy, but it's worth mentioning a couple of the guys that have been at least somewhat impactful in year one. Jarvis Brownlee, cornerback out of Louisville. He's played in every game. Now, he's certainly struggled, but it's definitely worth mentioning that he is in that conversation. And then Jalen Harrell, who's an edge 7th round pick, has played snaps in every single game this season. Now, unfortunately, he is the 116th out of 116 total edge rushers that are graded on PFF. That part of the draft, let's just have depth, all right? I don't need you to be a star. I don't need you to be a superstar. But if we're building depth players that can come in and play for good minutes, get good time in, be effective, that's all we need, right? That's where we're looking for in that range of the draft. And we got 2 guys that are showing that they have that ability. Now, I always like to mention on a 3-win team, guys drafted really late that are playing a lot might just be because the roster isn't that good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that's the case. That's a question for a couple years down the road. Overall, looking at this class, it starts and ends with what can J.C. Latham do? Is he going to be a star tackle in the league, or is he going to kind of be where he has been this year and not improve? I expect him to improve. I think, like I said earlier in the video, he was always a project. That was always what he was going to be. He was never going to come in on day one and be what Joe Alt has been. He just was never that polished. And yeah, I think we're just going to see him get better and better. We see Sweat, who has probably been the most positively impactful player in this draft class. Looks like it's going to be a slam dunk home run. So for a team that's rebuilding, that is amazing. You got an impactful defensive player on the defensive line, and you have a guy who can grow into a elite tackle on the offensive line. That's more than anything you can ask for from one draft class, and then we'll see what happens with the rest of these down the line guys. I don't know what to expect there, but overall, I think the Titans, look, they're not close yet, I wouldn't say, but they put together a really good draft and have good foundational pieces moving forward. We'll see what they do at quarterback. We'll see what they do with some of the weapons they could use. I do believe they should still treat this 2025 draft class and free agency period as a rebuilding opportunity. Let's focus on trenches still. We probably need to go over to right tackle and help that side out. We probably need to still help out the defense. We need to do a lot of things. If you can get a quarterback this year, that's awesome. I'd love it. Let's be great. But I don't know. The Titans are going to draft early. We'll see if they do that. I don't love the quarterback class enough to say that there's anybody that's worth drafting at 2 or 1 overall. In my opinion, if you have that second pick, if you have that first pick, wherever you're at in that top 3, top 5, you just pray that you have an opportunity to get Travis Hunter. Beyond that, I think, again, the quarterback class just isn't where I would want it to be to pull the trigger on a rookie. I personally, if I was the head coach, if I was the GM, I wouldn't bet my job on any of these top prospects at this point. I just don't believe in them that way. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.